Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kylie. I am an author, tuber, audio narrator, a writer, a new mom, and a professional nerd. I am so excited because I have a lot of things in the works for the rest of this year and into next year.
Stop chasing all the city lights. Breathe me in, go on and take your bite.
I have an entirely new heading for where I want to go the next couple of years in my writing career, and it will include a pause on publishing in 2022. Now, let me explain why I've decided to do this. I didn't publish in 2020 because I was working on getting Claymore Project ready to publish, and then I got pregnant, and so that kind of took me out of the headspace for writing the Claymore Project, and I ended up writing a trio of fun, cute, spicy novella romances with cats. So that was what my brain needed at the time of pregnancy, just something fun and lighthearted and kitty cat related because I love cats. And now that those are done and I'm about to launch the third one here soon this month, I am ready to go back to the world of Claymore. But there are some things that I need to put in place first. So I am currently in the process of recovering and rebranding my Legend series. And the cover artist that I've chosen is wonderful. She's done the first 3 of my Legend series. However, she's so amazing and she's great and she's super talented. She's a bit more expensive, so I have to save up money in order to do that. So you might be asking, why do you need to recover Legend before you cover Claymore and release it? Well, let me tell you, because they are in the same universe. Yes, you heard me right. They are in the same universe. I have a series of at least 4 books that are subsequently in the same universe under the same umbrella and will interact with each other from time to time. So, in order to be flush with the branding of the Claymore Saga, I need the covers to match and to look on market, on genre, in the right marketplace, basically just marketing them to the right audience. And yeah, so that's what's happening first. Then of course next is finishing up the Claymore projects and getting them all synced together and ready to publish, including the covers, the marketing, and the marketing for the ads. So for this, it's going wide. Claymore will be going wide, I believe, for right now, because I have a new pen name that these Legend, that Claymore and the rest, the Donnellys and the Petrova Saga, they're all gonna go underneath this new pen name, which is Victoria Bolt. So I am moving all of my fantasy, contemporary fantasy, and books of that, paranormal books of that nature into the new pen name Victoria Bolt, and I'm keeping my contemporaries as Kylie Stewart. So that way it's better for the algorithm, it's better for branding for me, and I'm super excited to have like this kind of fresh start. I'm not really concerned about people knowing who I am, because when I rebrand the Legend covers, it says Kylie Stewart writing as Victoria Bolt, so obviously people are gonna know who I am, and I'm not that concerned about it. People know that I write contemporary and paranormal and contemporary fantasy, so it's not that big of a deal for me. It's gonna be fun. I have a lot of ideas for the portion on my website for Victoria Bolt to be immersive, and character art and voice memos and documents and playlists and things like that. So I'm super excited to bring that to life. Then, of course, I feel like, and then it comes to the point where I feel like I need to build my house on a firm foundation for my writing. And I've kind of skidded by doing the bare minimum of what I needed to do as an author. And I'm starting to get really into the business side of writing, and looking at it from a business perspective and not just a joyride. And that means going back to the basics. So I have a list that I have procured of things that I need to do in order to be successful. So from now until the end of the year and into 2020, while I write and plot the rest of Claymore and finish wrapping that up and things of that nature and getting the website content ready to go and launch, I have a list of I have a list of courses that I am going to be taking or retaking or rewatching to basically reacquaint myself with best practices in both the business side of writing and the craft of writing. And then I also have a list of books that are all for the business of writing: ads, newsletters, BookBub, Amazon ads, and then also the craft. So some superstructure, writing out from the middle, write naked, writing science fiction and fantasy heroes. So it's all about the craft. So I want to marry craft and the quality of writing to the business aspect of writing. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on. And then the most exciting thing about the entire thing is consumption. So I haven't read, there's been a few books that I've read over the last couple of years for my own pleasure, for my own enjoyment, because I read books for a living. Normally after a day of audio, I don't want to read a book for myself. However, that is going to change because I have a rekindled love and thirst for everything contemporary and high fantasy. So I have made a list of books that I want to, series that I want to read, reread, or finish in order to learn the genre that I really want to focus on, which is contemporary and high fantasy. To learn the reader's expectations, what good writing is versus subpar writing, finding out what works, what other people have done, just gleaning little tips and tricks and inspiration from them. So I'm starting back at the basics. So this is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. It was the first book I ever read by him, and it's incredible. I love it. It was one of the first books to reintroduce me back into high fantasy, and I was hooked, and I immediately started the Stormlight Archive, and oh my goodness, like, those books are thick, they're big, they're juicy, and I love them. So this is what I am starting with. As you can see, I've already got a couple of chapters in, but this is the first of many. So what I'm going to be doing is possibly either keeping a journal of what I loved about the book, what I didn't like about the book, what I found compelling about the magic system or the plot and how everything was woven together. So I'm either going to keep a journal or do vlogs of what I liked about the books the best. And I'm really excited to reread Elantris because the first time it was like a roller coaster of emotions and a roller coaster of just adventure. And I was super excited. And I'm really excited to read it again to see what I missed, because there was a lot in the end that was like, oh my gosh. And so I can't wait to go back and look at those plot bunnies that Brandon planted from the very beginning that were just tying the strings all together at the very end in a neat little bow for the finale. So I have a huge list that includes, obviously, the Stormlight Archive, Mistborn, The Wheel of Time, rereading Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and Hobbit. I've all read all those. I have those. I'm going to reread them again. There's a couple of series that I've wanted to read from John Wayne that I've seen nothing but good things about, and I'm super excited to start the Faithful and the Fallen series. I have played some of the video games, I've watched the series, and I've read some of the books a long time ago, but rereading The Witcher. Dragons of Perm, finally reading that, and like Wheel of Time, like finally getting around to finishing that series that I started back in high school. There's also some more contemporaries that I'm working on, like Outlander, time travel, interesting. I like it. It's history and I'm Scottish, so it works for me. The Shadow Demon Saga by Sarah Cannon is amazing, and I am in the middle of it right now, and I just keep, thank God I bought them all on the Kindle because I keep just going forward. It's contemporary fantasy, it's witches, and awesome. And it's one of the first contemporary fantasies that I've gotten back into to kind of like reintroduce myself to the more contemporary YA market, and I was super pleased with it. I mean, I take Sarah's courses, I watch her YouTube, and the writing is just on par with the person. It's phenomenal. So I'm also in the middle. I started the Crown Shard series. So I read part of Kill the Queen, and then I got pregnant. So I kind of like lost my mind for dark. And so I'm going back and I'm rereading the Crown Shard series, or will. The Throne of Glass series. So I haven't read any of those, and the Court of Thorn and Roses, I haven't read any of those. They're pretty, I gotta catch up. And also I asked a reader group that I was on about some good dragon fantasies, because I love me some good dragon fantasies. And they suggested Dragonlance, Age of Fire, and Natural History of Dragons, Malazan, Ascendant, Dragon Mage, Shadow Veil, A Chorus of Dragons, Her Majesty's Dragon, and Temeriek. So hopefully I will be able to consume a good majority of these. So that is the plan, to basically learn, absorb, and get a good foundation. And from all of that, make a plan. And I am really excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of groundwork, a lot of relearning and breaking old habits, and really re-implementing the business foundation is super important, and it costs money as a self-published author, and that is something that I need to look into. So that is what is going on from now until the rest of the year. I will keep you updated on how that is going. I will do kind of an overview of every course I take, like a wrap up of what I learned, what I loved, what I learned, what I think could be built upon it. And then also the books that I read and the craft and the business aspect. And then of course, like I said, getting you up to date on the books that I read and write. So, well, not write, but read. What I liked about it and what I found very unique or didn't like about it. And I'll let you know if I don't finish, if I DNF books too, because it's not to say that they're not good books. They might just not be books for me. So I will keep you all in the loop, and from me to you, one love.